let's get into it. Give me your first player to team fit from your most recent mock draft that you absolutely loved.
Yeah, so I did a mock draft sort of like right after free agency. It was a 3-round post free agency mock. So it's been a little bit since then. There could be some picks that have changed, but when you ask me like, hey, what are some picks that you love? These are some selections that some of them are a little bit out there, but I really would still like them even today. I think that they're good strategies. The first one and the one that I still love is the New York Jets taking Troy Fautanu, the offensive tackle / offensive lineman, whatever you want to call him, from Washington at number 10 overall. Okay, like I get it. They traded for Morgan Moses. He could play right tackle, familiar face there for him. They really needed to upgrade offensive tackle. They also bring in Tyron Smith to play left tackle for them. And in theory, if you're playing Madden and you go into the league settings and you turn injuries off, in theory, they got a nice offensive line there with Elijah Vera Tucker and Joe Tippmann. They signed John Simpson as well. So that's a starting 5 that can get it done for you. The problem is Morgan Moses, up there in age. Tyron Smith, he's up there in age. Tyron Smith has not played a full season in the NFL since 2016. Man. So if you're sitting here and you are the New York Jets, I understand that you signing or bringing in these 2 new offensive tackles can make you feel like, ooh, what if Brock Bowers is there, right? Like, what if a big time playmaker is there for Aaron Rodgers? Let's keep our foot on the gas with playmakers. Let's get better receivers in there. Maybe we get a little bit aggressive. Maybe trade up if a Romo Dunze or a Malik Neighbors falls a little bit. And I'm not saying that those would be quote unquote bad decisions, but Fautanu played left tackle for the last 2 years at Washington. I think he could be a stud guard as well. And for the Jets, keeping Aaron Rodgers upright and having that offensive line as deep and as talented as possible, to me, is priority number 1 for the team. Because Rodgers, I think, is still talented enough to be able to get the football to these playmakers, even outside of Garrett Wilson, to score enough points to where that defense behind you can win the football games for you. And you can get double-digit wins and you can get in the playoffs and make a run like you wanted to last year. But if Tyron Smith goes down, what are you going to do? Who do you have as your backup? Right? I mean, you could say if Morgan Moses goes down, okay, Elijah Vera Tucker has kicked out the tackle before. You could do that. You like him there. He's reliable there. Who's playing right guard for you? And so it's just, I think that if you get Fautanu, it's the best case scenario for the Jets, because I think that he is more talented and could start over John Simpson. So right away, you could start him at left guard. And then if any of those 2 offensive tackles go down, you can either slide Elijah Vera Tucker out from right guard to right tackle, and then you put John Simpson in, who you signed this offseason. Or if Tyron Smith goes down, you can kick Fautanu out to left tackle where he played at Washington, and then John Simpson can come in and play left guard. To me, it's just it's by far the best scenario for them to get the most security for just such an important position that was really something that ravaged them last year with the inconsistencies on their offensive line. So that's one that I still absolutely love, the flexibility of what Fautanu could be for their offensive line. And then for those reasons where you've got those contingency plans if something happens to one of those veteran offensive tackles.
Yeah, it's funny because this feels like a pick you could have made in your pre-free agency mock draft, right? And then there's a temptation that, they add all these offensive line, they're set. But if any team should know that they need depth at this position, it's the New York Jets, man. I mean, absolutely. And I think there's, again, a temptation to look at Aaron Rodgers' short-term window. Let's get another playmaker and let's go. And I'm with you that I think that could be a perfectly plausible strategy, but I don't think you want to get in a position where you just look at the depth chart right now at offensive line and you start to think you're set. Not to mention that, yeah, of course, we're in a short-term window with Rodgers. I get that, but hypothetically, you should still be thinking about the future of your team. And this guy could be your future left tackle. When Tyron Smith, he's only there on a 1-year deal. I think the odds that he's back in 25 are extremely low. So you can think about it that way too. It's not too different than what Dallas did when they drafted Tyler Smith in the first round, and just if he's our left tackle in the future, that's great. If not, he's a great guard for us. I think that makes a ton of sense. And I watched a lot of Washington's offense with those receivers there. And Fautanu just stands out every single time as just a rock at that left tackle position. So, this pick makes all the sense in the world to me.
Yeah, the only real concern that I had about Fautanu was the arm length, because there are times when you're watching him on film where you go, okay, like he's got a little bit of like a fire hydrant build to him, but he's got like longer arms, so his body's a little bit of an optical illusion. He does the crop top thing. He's letting the gut show, which I love, by the way. I mean, it's a great call. You got to have that confidence there as no lineman, but you kind of wonder, like, all right, do you have shorter arms? And people are talking about you kicking inside, and then he shows up to the combine. He's got over 34-inch arms. Like that's plenty long enough to play offensive tackle at the NFL. He's got longer arms than Talise Fuanga does from Oregon State. And we're talking about him as, he's a right tackle. You don't even think about it. I guess some people will talk about him at guard, and we'll actually get to that in a second. But him having longer arms than Fuanga is not something that I had on my bingo card when we were going through the combine. But that to me tells you, he really does have that true flexibility to be able to play left tackle or left guard or wherever you want to put him.
Yeah, and to me, the Jets adding two guys from the Ravens, right, and Morgan Moses and John Simpson, it does seem like, hey, they want to run the hell out of the ball. And with the way Breece Hall finished the season last year, I mean, shoot, as somebody that had him on like 3 fantasy teams, I know he finished the season very well, right? I mean, it was a nice end of the season run for Breece Hall. They actually probably could use another running back, just looking at their depth chart right now, maybe like a day 3 draft pick or something like that. I think Izzy Abanikanda is the second running back on that team. Probably could use another body in there. Like, I think this is a team that's going to want to establish the run game, and you think Fautanu could fit into that sort of mindset as well, right?
Yeah, I think if that's what they want to do, it makes sense, because he's a road grader. Like, he's somebody who's going to like move you off the ball 100%. Like, that's his mentality. He's sort of I don't know if he's like as good of a finisher as like some of the other more powerful offensive tackles are in this class, because we got a lot of really good ones. But it does, like, to your point, like it fits what you want to do. But like the other thing is that I think he's got a good power profile, but also anytime you want to use him. And I guess this goes with like man and gap schemes as well. Like, if you want to use him as a puller, this dude can get out on like as a lead blocker, man. I mean, you watch some of those reps that he had at the combine, and he looks like a tight end. He looks like he's in the wrong position group. So you think you're of running guard counter with this guy, and he's pulling out into space. I mean, he's a locomotive coming at you head on. So he's a really great athlete too, and that's why, like, no matter what you want to run with him, I think he is good enough of an offensive lineman to be able to have that identity, like you're saying.
Yeah, I don't know if I trust Nate Hackett to pull this off as the offensive coordinator, but I think about the ways that Ben Johnson has truly weaponized in space Penei Sewell, the right tackle there in Detroit.
Yes.
And I can visualize, again, I don't know if Hackett's the guy to pull this off, but I can visualize him doing that with Breece Hall, and like, who's a great second level runner. And definitely you watch at times last year behind an offensive line that was both bad setup coming into the year and then injured, just getting, met at the line of scrimmage, tackle behind the line. This would be a pick that would really open things up for Breece Hall. So it's an exciting one for sure.
What I need to see is goal line situation. Okay, take Fautanu from left guard, just put John Simpson in, because all you need is just to move forward. So we know that Simpson can move forward as a power blocker. Put Fautanu in at fullback in the I formation. That's what we need there. Get on the goal line and just put him at fullback. Let him run full steam, and let whoever it is, Breece Hall, we assume, if he's healthy, run behind him and get into the end zone. That's the next evolution of the idea that we're coming up with here.
Yeah, there's definitely get Aaron Rodgers another receiver. Tired. Brock Bowers tired. I mean, I don't want to say anything bad about Rome Odunze because I love the guy, but like, yeah, Rome Odunze the Jets tired. This is the wired version of it, and we're talking like a 14 touchdown season for Breece Hall coming up if that is the case.